6 a.m., Tuesday morning, southern Veracruz. A man inside the house is pleading with the men breaking through the door, telling them there's a baby inside. They go through anyway, and they take her.
Sarah, tell me her name.
Roxana Guzmán Ramírez. She runs a digital outlet called Pulso Informativo del Sureste. She's a journalist, Mike, director of the site, based in Nanchital, in the south of the state.
Nanchital. Okay.
So here's what we have so far, and I want to be careful because some of this is still moving. Around 6 in the morning, at her home on Calle Balderas in Colonia Primero de Mayo, at least 3 armed men in ski masks broke her door down with a sledgehammer. There's a video, recorded from inside the house. A man, we don't know who, is talking through the broken door, asking them to calm down. He tells them there's a baby in there.
And they kept going.
They forced through, pointed rifles at the people inside, ordered Roxana and the person filming to the floor. And the video cuts. As of this recording, she is still missing.
Sarah, before we keep going, I want listeners to hold one thing in their head. We're not going to speculate on who took her. We don't know. The men were masked. No one has claimed responsibility. The prosecutor's office in Veracruz has opened an investigation. They're using her initials, RGR, in the official statement. So whatever theories are flying on social media, we're not doing them.
Right. The Fiscalía Regional Coatzacoalcos is running it. The state's Commission for Journalist Protection sent a team to her family. The state government deployed a search operation by Tuesday afternoon. One thing to flag for context, and this is reported by La Silla Rota, a Mexican outlet, single source so far. They're reporting that Roxana's husband, Carlos Fernández Escalante, was killed in front of her in 2017, also in Nanchital. She left Veracruz for years afterward, came back in 2025, started Pulso Informativo del Sureste. In a few months, it had around 19,000 followers, covering social issues, politics, security in the region.
So she left after watching her husband die, came back, started doing journalism again, in the same town. And 8 years later, men with hammers and ski masks come through her door at 6 in the morning. Sarah, there's a detail in the BNO news reporting that I keep going back to.
What detail?
One of the men, on the video, had a Mexican flag patch on his uniform, similar to the ones worn by Mexican security forces. But no government agency has said their personnel were involved. Nobody has claimed those men.
So we don't know if it's a real uniform.
No, and I want to be really careful here, because I have seen versions of this go badly. In southern Veracruz, the corridor down toward Coatzacoalcos, that area is contested. ACLED, Insight Crime, the analysts who track this, they describe it as fragmented, between the CJNG and what's left of the Zetas, plus some Gulf Cartel splinter factions. In contested territory, you see things like tactical uniforms with patches. Sometimes the actor is who the patch says they are. Sometimes the actor is somebody dressed to look like that. I'm not telling you which one this is. I'm telling you that a flag patch is not proof, and neither is the absence of one.
Right. So just to fact-check us against each other, the Fiscalía statement doesn't name any group. The state hasn't said anything about who. The federal government, as of this recording, hasn't said anything publicly. We have a video, we have 3 masked men, and we have a patch we cannot interpret.
That's right.
And listeners, I want you with us on this part. Because if you have seen the video or pieces of it on social media, your instinct is going to be to assign this to someone. We are asking you not to. Not yet.
Sarah, one more thing on Veracruz, just for context. Veracruz has been one of the most lethal states in Mexico for journalists going back at least 15 years. The Duarte administration, the years that followed, Article 19 documents 31 journalist killings in Veracruz alone, the most of any state in the country. So whatever happened on Calle Balderas Tuesday morning, it's happening in a state that has a record.
Which is a different conversation from naming who did it. One is texture, the other is speculation. We're staying with the texture. So, Mike, I want to put the texture next to the numbers. Article 19, the Press Freedom Organization, runs the count. Their most recent report, published December of 2025, Mexico had 7 journalist murders in 2025, 1 disappearance, and 451 documented attacks against the press. That's an attack every 19 hours. Article 19 also said this: Mexico was the country with the most lethal violence against the press in all of Latin America last year.
Yeah.
And going back 25 years, the total they document is 175 journalist murders in Mexico. Veracruz alone, 31 of those, the most of any state.
Sarah, can I do the other half of that?
Please.
So everything you just said sits next to this. Mexico has a federal mechanism for protecting human rights defenders and journalists. It's been on the books for over a decade. Veracruz has the CEAPP, the State Commission, the Comisión Estatal for Journalist Protection. They activated for Roxana on Tuesday. They sent a team to her family. The Fiscalía opened a file within hours. Article 19 is publicly demanding the application of something called the Protocolo Homologado, which is a federal protocol for crimes against freedom of expression. Look, on paper, all of that is the system working. On paper. And in 2025, in that same system, 451 documented attacks, 7 dead, 1 disappeared. At some point, you have to ask whether the architecture is doing what the architecture says it does, or whether it has become something else.
Like documentation of failure.
That's the part. That's the goddamn part.
So where does this leave us? Roxana Guzmán Ramirez is still missing. The investigation is open. The men have not been identified. There is no public motive. Her family is being supported by the State Commission. Article 19 is documenting. And on social media, a video clip continues to circulate. 3 masked men, a sledgehammer, a man inside the house asking them to remember a baby was present.
And we'll update if her situation changes.
Thanks for being with us. We hope she comes home.